matter.
Well, here's one of those senators, Senator David Vitter, a Republican of Louisiana. We do want to talk about the sanctuary bill, but we've sort of, as we were waiting for you, we got started on this Ted Cruz thing. What's your understanding of what the majority leader had promised the Republican caucus with regard to an amendment on the import-export bill?
Yeah, I wasn't there for the exchange Ted was referring to, so maybe it happened exactly like he said. I wasn't there. I certainly have always had the impression that McConnell promised to vote on XM. Sort of everyone was expecting it.
Well, there's one thing about having a vote on XM, another one for the majority leader to actually introduce the amendment, which, of course, as you know, triggers a whole bunch of sort of locked-in rules there that doesn't – it sort of
Well, it certainly gives that amendment preferred status, you're right, and I have several amendments I'd like to get up that are non-germane, just like XM, so it certainly – gives that preferred status over a whole lot of other amendments members have, including me.
Well, do you think Ted Cruz was right to call the majority leader out like that?
Well, I wasn't there for the conversation, so I don't know. I can just tell you, certainly was never a surprise to me that we're going to have this XM vote.
All right. So let's turn, if we can, to the measure that you are concerned about.
Right.
Yeah, this is the sanctuary city, but you want to punish cities who go ahead and pass these sanctuary cities.
Well, yeah, it's contrary to federal law. You know, federal law says very clearly, very unequivocally, that all local law enforcement has to properly cooperate with immigration enforcement. Problem is there are no teeth in that law. There are no consequences when so-called sanctuary cities don't do that. And so I've had proposals going back to 2009 to put teeth in the law to withhold certain federal funds if sanctuary cities do not properly cooperate with immigration enforcement. I think that's long overdue, and unfortunately this has really been focused on now because of the horrible incidents like the murder of Kate Steinle in San Francisco. I think this is long overdue.
Do you have the votes to get this through the Senate?
I don't know yet. We're working on that. First, we're working to get it marked up and through the Judiciary Committee. That's going quite well, working with many members of the Judiciary Committee on the Republican side, and that's going well. Have a conversation later on with the chair of that committee, Chuck Grassley, later on today. So I don't have an exact vote count on the Senate floor, but we're certainly working on that.
And if you were to get it through the Senate, the House, I would think, would be inclined to take up a similar measure, but then the president would likely veto, would he not?
3 weeks ago, I would have said yes, but as more and more Americans focus on the danger of sanctuary cities policy, and again, it's been made crystal clear in some of these horrible incidents like the murder of Kate Steinle, I think that possibly and properly changes the equation.
I got to ask you, and I certainly don't want to, have you make your opponent's case for them, but I'm curious as to what their argument is. How can a sitting U.S. senator say, oh, we're fine with major cities across the United States, or in Virginia's case, an entire county, Fairfax County, we're fine with them just declaring that they're a safe zone from federal law?
They don't make clear, compelling arguments. They just try to block ever having a vote or block the issue from coming up, which tells you a lot about the weakness of where they're coming from. I think where they're coming from is all political. It's the fact that their left political base is represented in these jurisdictions like San Francisco.
If I may, I want to ask you about another item in the news, and it has to do with Hillary Clinton. It was revealed late on Friday, or I guess midday on Friday, that indeed there have been I'm going to take that back, a referral made to the Department of Justice regarding classified information that was found on her email server. What should happen in that particular case?
Well, there should be a full impartial investigation for starters, and I'm not sure this Department of Justice can do that credibly. I think the leadership is very political and politicized. I brought this issue up during the confirmation discussion of Loretta Lynch, and she wouldn't give a straight answer. So first of all, there needs to be a full, independent, and credible investigation. Like I say, I don't think this Justice Department can do that.
Do you support Trey Gowdy's efforts in the House in terms of trying to get that server subpoenaed so we can actually take a look at it, we the people, considering the people's business was done?
Absolutely. This is a serious matter, and we need that full, independent investigation into all significant aspects of this issue.
All right, Senator David Vitter, we're losing your signal, but just in time, actually. We're pretty much wrapping it up. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you,
Great
Senator.
being with you all. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.